Attention all units. Respond code 3.
Getting people ranked up that need to be ranked up. Make sure it's structured. Get the drugs off the street, obviously. Getting them DUIs in jail. Getting people convicted of the crimes they've committed. 1 second, sorry. Yeah, I got, yeah, that's all. I got something going on, sorry.
Alrighty, Mo?
Well, gentlemen, everybody gave good answers. Unfortunately, the real answer to that, the goals, one, better relationship with the community. That's number one. Number two, greater working relationship with the other agencies in play. PHP, Knox County Police Department, of course, Tennessee Wildlife, and several other agencies in play. So my ultimate goal is to have one, make KCSO the greatest law enforcement agency we can possibly have. But number two, to have that working relationship that is just impeccable with the rest of the agencies that we have.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I said we'll kind of change the order as we go to make it the most fair as we can. The next question, we'll have Frosty go first.
Yep.
What kind of personality would you bring to KCSO?
I'll bring a strict but fun one. You have to have some strictness in there to make sure to know that people aren't, make sure. Oh, fuck me. To make sure people know that I'm not fucking around in this thing. We need to, obviously have a fun. What? It was a tongue twister, all right? Jesus criminy. Anyways, as I was saying, for McCone, rudely interrupted by his laughter. We obviously need to have a strict, but McComb. Okay. Anyways, we need to, have a strict, but a lively personality inside the department. The deputies need to have some spirit in them, like they're not working a 48-hour shift, right? And you need to have some spirit in them, because if you don't have any spirit and you're just, if you're all groggy and mean on a traffic stop, how's that going to look to the public? It's going to look like we're some assholes to the public, and we don't want to be assholes to the public. We want to be assholes to the criminals. We want to help the public, and by we helping them, they're going to help us by turning in, convicted felons on parole that have guns, drugs, stuff like that. People are not breaking the rules, so they're going to call 911 and more instead of handling it themselves. We want people to come in, say, we want to help them.
Attention
But
all units.
we need to have a strict but fair attitude while serving the community.
That sounds good. McFarland, what kind of personality would you bring?
It'd be hard-nosed, but fair. We would be respectful of the community, but let them know that we're here to do our jobs and uphold the right hand of the law. We will follow a code and not deviate from that code.
Oh my god, what the fuck? My car hit the barrier.
But the ultimate goal is to keep
That's not good, is it?
the mood of the department up
my car, man.
with promotions and everything.
Oh my god, you think you could flip it
and the
over?
morale up, and
I don't know
that
about
should
that,
spread out into the community.
Toto still got 4 wheels on it.
Sounds good.
I don't think that's quite safe to drive.
Oh
boss.
god damn, that hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, what I would bring,
I
refresh your question so I'm clear on that.
What kind of personality would you bring to KCSO?
Personally, I would bring. Look, Mo is not. Mo is superior,
down.
balanced, and unafraid.
I can't even see what it said. What does it say? I don't know. Can you see what my flag?
You don't need to be strict. You need to be firm, but you don't need to be strict. There's a distinction there. So I'm gonna bring respect, loyalty, and honesty to my guys in my community.
Leo Dispatch.
The same I would expect for myself. So, the mode that you currently have is the mode you're gonna continue to have.
You said what now, boss?
It's whiskey,
Good, Adam.
Ida, Lima,
Can you read the question one more time? I'm sorry.
Union, November.
Yeah.
What kind of personality would you bring if you were the sheriff for KCSO?
What type of personality would I bring? I would hope a fun and respectful and kind. I know I've had trouble being kind sometimes, not gonna lie. Nobody's perfect. And I bring obviously respectful, like I said, kind, fun, making sure everybody's having fun, respectful, being kind to the public, being respectful to the public, being understanding with the department and other departments working together, and making sure we're all having a good and fun time. My personality is helping people, and trying to understand, I guess, and being fun. Yeah, I don't think I answered the question.
Yeah, being fun.
Yep. Well, I said the other stuff, but I don't think I completely answered it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You completely did. How would you? Would any elects like they conflict on other answers?
No, I think he covered it.
Yeah.
I think
That's the part.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he covered it.
Yeah, I think he covered the basis of it.
Maybe we're gonna flip it again. Adam, what kind of person? How would you build a relationship with KPD, THP, RMFD, and KFD, the other first responder departments in our community?
How would I build a better relationship with the other departments, as you said?
Yes, sir.
Making sure we can communicate with each other, say what we need to fix between our departments when we come together on scenes. Make sure we're both respectful, understanding, and helpful with each other. Making sure that we help others if they do something wrong, point them to the side if maybe next time they don't need to do this, maybe they did something wrong. Make sure we keep communication with each other. I said that. Just making sure we're all having a good time, being respectful with each other, and making sure we all understand and know what we're doing. And yeah.
Sounds good. Farland?
Yeah, I think respectfulness is key in the situation. You come on other calls with departments, know who's got priority depending on the area you're in.
See me flip.
If you see somebody doing something wrong, don't just immediately call them out. Let it go through, and then pull them aside respectfully to them. As far as KPD, THP, build that relationship with proper understanding of each department. RMFD and KFD, let them, when they come on scene, give them the full respect, give them the space they need to do what they need to do and get out of there.
It's not total.
And just overall be polite and respectful to whoever you're dealing with on a daily basis.
Sounds good, Kirby Mo.
I think he's dealing with something right now. So,
No, sorry, gentlemen. What was the question? So, I'm sorry.
How would you build a relationship with KPD, THP, RMFD, and KFD?
That's an easy question. Look, it's as simple as this. I talked about it in my goals. You have to have a better working relationship with that. You have to understand each department and their protocols. You also have to understand the priority, who responds to calls and who's making the calls. Incident command is a big thing. We gotta some of us come up with rank and that's fine, but ultimately it's who has the scene and who's responsible for the scene. For example, THP shows up on it has a 1011. They call for a 32. Look, you're there to assist them, so you're a support, not primary to the situation. Even as sheriff, and the sheriff is the highest elected law enforcement officer. He is the head officer, law enforcement officer in the land. But you still have to step back and assist when you need to. So again, it's knowing the protocols, knowing the guys, working well with the guys, be respectful, be mindful, be understanding of the situation. I think somebody touched on it a little bit ago. If there's an issue that you see somebody doing something, don't address it there on the scene unless it is a matter of safety. Do not address it there. Chain of command, work with the other agencies' chain of command, and that will help strengthen the relationship between all agencies. Fire department has a responsibility, so does law enforcement. So also part of that is to understand what the fire department's capability and responsibilities are when they arrive on the scene. They do cover a lot on the through Homeland Security, the FEMA incident management protocols, which most of them should be pretty knowledgeable. So they have their own incident command system that takes place in the fire department when they arrive on the scene. They do have precedence on the scene. There's no if, ands, or but about that. That's just the rule of how things work. So that's the best way I can answer that. So yeah.
Sounds good. Rusty.
Yep. If you like bounce you off what Adam or McFarland said, I forgot which of it you said. If you have an issue, take them aside. Take if they do something wrong, take them aside. Say, hey, don't do this or that. It's wrong, right? Be kind about it. If it's a matter of safety, like Mo said, then you have to squash it right then and there, or it can lead to someone getting killed. But to better your relationship with everyone, it's about events and mutual aid. You gotta help one another because you can't help yourself and expect others to help you. You have to help each other. That's the way it goes. And then with events, you try to build up your trust at events and also mutual aid as well, because you need to,
Goddamn for you too.
I have nothing further to say. Fuck.
Say what now?
I can't pull up
That's
CAD
good.
for some
Would
reason.
anybody like to
Yeah,
conflict with other things?
It's down in game. You'll have to open it in a web browser.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
So
I think I got all this information.
Okay. We'll move on.
Thomas J. Diesel.
oh, bullet.
How would you make sure your deputies are
Yeah,
equipped
Bullet
for the
J.
job?
Mitchell.
Crap! How did I just get a 76
As in,
on radar?
properly trained and ready to
Say
go
what?
the street.
76 on radar. Somebody. I don't know what it
We'll
was.
go McCraw.
It all comes
Not one
down
seatbelt.
to training and resources. Training needs to be, pretty lengthy, not just one little session and you're gone. You need to coach them and grow them within the department coming up. And as far as giving them the resources needed, I know, again, this goes back to the governor doing some tax reworking. We're going to get some pretty good funds coming in. That means new resources, new tasers, new firearms, new vehicles, and that will not only help them, but will help the morale in the department itself.
I just want to make sure the windows are rolled down, correct?
Yeah, you're good.
Sounds good. We'll go Adam.
Question one more time, please.
How would you make sure deputies are equipped for the job?
All right, sir. So we're just stop today is you roll.
I'd make sure that me and my command would be there at every training, or try to be there at every training.
It's
try to make sure everyone knows what they're doing. Make sure they know how to use radio, CAD. Make sure they
don't mind to put that on for me.
Know how to pit properly, use their guns properly, not be what's the word? Forgot the word. But make sure we know what we're doing, huh?
Do you mean retarded or?
Okay. Maybe lost my train of thought. All right. Come back to me real quick. I completely lost what I was saying.
Hello?
Yeah, one shot. Alright,
Hey, if you're trying to talk, I can't hear you.
No, I was seeing.
Can you reread a question for me, please?
I put it in
Sir, how would you make sure your deputies are equipped for the job?
I can do it
Oh, I
again
got
if
you. I
want.
got you.
You know, it
Is
comes
it
down
four?
to training now.
No,
Not,
no,
like
no.
McFarland said, a session you're
It's only
kicking
like-
rocks down jobs
Yeah,
with shooting people, right? No, that's not how it rolls. You want to be well trained, you want to be well knowledgeable about laws, because if you say the wrong thing, they can use that in court and get the case dismissed. You know, he's back out selling drugs and
Ricky
shooting
Jackson.
people. It's not what we want. We want to, back to what I said earlier, we want to maintain order within the community. But we would have a very extensive FTO program, after a session of, training, learning the basic laws like possession and stuff like that. Then we'll move on to a 2-day or 3-day FTO program where they'll go through with 3 separate FTOs that at the end of it, they'll have a ride along with a sergeant or above to verify if that corporal trained them well. If they didn't, then we will have repercussions on that corporal to varying how well or how bad they trained them. We want our deputies to be well knowledgeable in all sorts of areas, so if they arrive on scene and multiple things happen, they can deal with it without
Alright,
calling
sir,
in
here's
too
your
many
information
units.
back. I'm not gonna give you
So
anything or
it
anything,
doesn't
just
get
make sure we're in
messy,
that seatbelt.
maintains
Okay.
orderly,
Alright,
and we
that's
have
all.
other units
Alright,
to
stay safe, sir.
respond
Have a
to
good
any
night.
other 911 calls or radio calls that may need to be responded to.
9101, should make
But at the end of the day, it comes down to the people who's training. It comes down to people who's training our trainees and to the system, as well as command staff members. We can't hold corporals or sergeants accountable. It's the failure on the command team as well. What went wrong? How can we do better? We grow from the mistakes, not get damaged by them.
Sounds good. So I guess.
Yes, sir.
Alright, Kirby Mel.
Bulls down. I mean, it's been said, so I'm going to skip the training part because we understand that everybody needs training in this line of work. But SOP, standard operating procedure is important, and it's a guideline. It's not just a guideline. It's a procedure.
I'm gonna be
It's
out
a
with
word
them.
by word,
They're
line by line, what you need to be
27
doing.
panoramic
So a
drive.
standard needs to be written across the board, not just for a traffic stop or anything that you interact with in law enforcement has to have some type of standard. And so I'm gonna hate saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Frosty on the FTO side of things. An FTO program is important. Deputies should not be just handed a badge and a gun and say, "Go hit the street and make me proud." Even though I tell all my people make me proud, that's because I want them to do good. But the standard has to be set, and then of course a training, an extensive training. I don't agree on the
Hey
basis
sir, how we
of
doing tonight?
reprimanding
Good.
a corporal, and the reason why I'm saying that is because
pretty recklessly
it's not
down the road
necessarily
right
the
there,
corporal failed at
wheelies and
his
stuff.
training. Is
Stuff
that
like that.
sometimes the training is done well.
No, I'm just having some
but
fun,
the
doing
deputy
some
went
hood
on
shit.
the street and
I
then,
hear you. I hear you. You got license to
well,
improvement charge.
for better
Oh,
lack of
yeah,
term,
yeah, sure,
character
yeah.
this
Why
way.
not?
The badge is too heavy and then the gun is pretty light and the triggers.
There you go, man.
We can't have that. So, again, proper
There you
command
go.
structure, proper training,
Put that in the skybox.
SOPs, SOGs,
Yeah.
and just reinforcing that training in them.
834 radio check.
Nobody's perfect.
There you
Everybody's gonna
go.
make mistakes, and that's understandable.
What's the name
All
of the on that
agencies
boss?
have that problem.
Bullet
I
J
think it can
Diesel.
be resolved with
Alright,
more
sir.
extensive
Cyber
training,
Agent Diesel.
more guidelines to be pushed out.
Copy. Can I access gate?
Alrighty.
Typical.
You guys got anything you want to debate about?
Yeah, I've got something.
Thank you. Finally. The fun part.
With Frosty saying that he was gonna make sure that command was gonna be on during his training,
Well-
can he answer to being away from server for a week?
What do you
if
mean by
take-
that?
If you take that command and you just decide one day you're just not going to be on for a week, that can cause a lot of problems with the
I'm gonna
training.
go
and
ahead and echo
so
on
forth.
that too.
Hey, whoever said I was not be on for a week?
He's talking about your S.
Oh, my past. Yes, well, that's all. It's a little rocky back there.
Can you please explain to us why
Why what?
you were gone for a week?
Life took me. I had personal things going on in my life as well. You know, we're all human. No, you can't be a fucking Discord mod 24/7 watching our screen, just head deep going, oh yeah, no, oh he's banned, right?
I don't want to cut you off,
I don't know
but
how
I do
your
want to ask
license
a back-to-back
unsuspended
question to
already.
McFarland. And I think McFarland asked a very valuable question there.
Yes,
The question
yes.
I want to follow that with is, why
you mean by
transfer
that?
to Tennessee
Hey,
Highway
what? I
Patrol
suspended your
if you feel that
license.
KCSO is a place that
did?
could be
Yeah.
felony? What
I
made
didn't
you
know
make
that.
that change?
Did you unsuspend it?
You asking me or
I
Carl?
haven't
yes.
been on
Oh,
it
no,
all.
I'm asking
when I got on, so it's been
Oh,
off,
okay,
so
gotcha.
I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, interesting. It's showing unsuspended.
Oh, I
He's
didn't
asking
know
why you
that, so.
transferred. Like, was
Why?
that an issue with the department, or?
Swear to
Yes,
God.
it was an internal issue with
YouTube
certain someone in here. I'm not gonna blur it out,
Yeah.
but you may
Alright,
all
so
know.
talk-
It was an
Just
internal
talk-
issue. The beef has been settled, obviously. Now we're both in here. I'm both running for sheriff. No,
Call them out.
I didn't say a who though. But you know, the beef's been settled. It was an internal issue with command staff. That was a failure on command members. Seeing like, wait, hold on.
Whoa.
Which command are we talking? Which
It was
command are we talking?
it was a team failure. It was no.
That escalated quickly.
No, yeah.
Why don't we just take a step back here and stop pointing fingers and take responsibility?
There we go.
Wait, hold on.
Boss.
Wait one sec.
I don't think that was a matter of pointing fingers. That was more of a, I'm just going to look in that direction.
Yeah, that was more of a like.
It
Well,
felt,
the
like
point-
it felt like a pointed finger.
It
point-
was more like
but
a
here's the
pointed
thing,
hand.
Here's the thing. You just addressed this a little minute ago. You talked about, you know, the command staff and reprimands on the FTOs and all that good stuff. That's great. But what I'm having a hard time swallowing the pill on is you talking about, you know, a command structure that needs to be strong in a team, but you left.
Well, I
You
wasn't a
left the agency
command.
to go somewhere else. But it doesn't matter. You left that. You were promoted, and you left the agency. Instead of making it better, you just abandoned it.
Well, I could have done anything to make it better. I was only a corporal, and
Alright,
you
sir.
know,
I
other-
need you to step off the bike, sir. You
Every
gotta suspend your
member
license.
of the sheriff's office, no matter what.
Wow,
and
I'm just
I'm
going
not
that
gonna
way,
speak for
right
PHP,
over there.
You know, I came from PHP.
No, you
I'm
need
gonna
to step
say
off
this.
for me.
I don't need a
Every
license to ride a
member
dirt bike.
From
You
cadet
do on the road.
all the way to sheriff.
No, I don't.
Doesn't
It's
matter where you
49
are, doesn't
cc.
matter how many extinguishers you got. Everybody makes a
I'm
difference.
pretty sure it's not.
right,
brother.
exactly.
It
Absolutely.
says
I put a-
450
yeah,
right
and
there.
Not
And if you-
Oh, that's
if you
the
have the
engine.
mentality
The
that you're
engine is
just
a
full,
50
you're part of the
cc.
problem, not the
And that's
No.
34.
Everybody
and
I've driven
respect
one of
is
these before.
transparent. So
the old
if
engine.
you have
the
a problem,
plastics of the
Step off for me.
450
Step off,
plastics,
go
but
to
the
your
engine the
command.
50 cc.
Come
talk to
on.
them about it.
It's a 50 cc
It's not. Why are you flipping me off right now?
because
Because
making
why?
me get off my
So we
bike.
got-
Come on, hop off. We ain't got all night here.
Well, I didn't do nothing, bro. You're making me do
3101.
something.
Just go ahead and sit in your car in case it takes off. Listen, dude, we got your plate, we
Right,
got your
we got a
name,
big
we
one.
know where you
This stuff's
live.
just
Play, I don't
all
got no
speaking
plate on this
for- so
bitch.
as sheriff, you really want to
Oh,
make
okay.
sure
There's
you
no
get
plate.
this right.
Can't
be driving
I'm
on
sure
the
the
road
people
then,
want to know
brother.
how you would do it.
Come on, you know
49
that.
cc.
I would
It doesn't,
make
it doesn't
sure
matter
your
how many
department members
CCs,
are
you gotta have a
fairly
plate
ranked
driving on a public road.
across the
9
gut.
cc.
Fairly ranked, we would
doesn't make a difference,
start
Bubba.
by. Well, can
Yes,
I
it
ask you something? Do you mind?
You're
You want me to
pretty
give a kind of like a detailed description or
No.
just like a general?
Really?
The people.
Get off the bike.
Alright, what people want to hear
Come on,
detailed, I
dude,
guess.
come on, be a good
I
man.
Get off
would
the
Be a
start by
bike,
having a
dude.
meeting with
Don't
command
make me
staff,
tase
supervising
Make me-
staff,
you
so
take
that'd
me
be
to
like
jail?
sergeant or lieutenant.
Get off the
And
bike.
then, you know, with the
take
deputies
me
as
to
well.
jail?
The deputies
I
are
don't
the
know.
big
Are you gonna get off
backbone
the
and everything.
bike?
They get
I
everything
want to know if I'm
done.
going to
Are
go
you
to
gonna
jail or not.
comply?
Well, I am, but I want to know.
But,
I want to
You're
know
not
if I'm going to
complying
jail.
because you're not listening.
So what we would
Yeah, I just
obviously have
tell me if
meetings
I'm
for
gonna be on
everyone.
it,
We
then I'll
have
drop.
a whole department meeting,
maybe if you
and then a
comply,
whole
won't take
department
you to jail,
training
just
to
give
see
you a
where
ticket.
everyone's at. You know, who takes this stuff seriously, who
Go to your
doesn't,
car and
who
give me a
just wants to joke around are
Huh?
going to be out of here.
Go to your
Right?
car
So
and
let's
give me a
get all the
ticket and I'll be on
jokesters,
my
all
way.
the
No,
people
you're
who are
gonna get off the
bullshitting, John. Yeah,
You're not
I think
taking
that's
it
when
home.
it really comes down
You can
to
do it,
where we
Papa.
want to place everyone.
Huh?
You know,
You can do it,
in
Papa.
that training, that's going to be really, really valuable
tased?
information
Got
to
the
see
bike.
their
Yeah, I
skill
was
set.
moving it up.
Got the
People
I was
bike.
may
moving
be
the bike.
unfairly ranked up, and they need to be placed lower. Not because we don't like them, it's because
Don't move.
they just
Don't
don't have
move.
the capacity yet
Strong
to
training, don't
understand
move.
certain things or to take on to position
I do
that
not
they
need to
have
hear
been given. So we place them fairly. Let's say a lieutenant needs to be placed down to a corporal. We place them down to a corporal. It's not because we don't like them. It's not because that
31-1.
they
Do
treat
we have
people
men
well.
available?
That is an option if they treat people unfair. But it's more based upon their skill set more than anything. And then we
Let's go,
will
sir. Wake
deal
up.
with internal
will
issues
deal
later
with,
on after we have
Mental
corrected out
problem,
the ranking structural placements and stuff like that. And then command stuff, that's going to be tricky. We need people who can lead, trusted members. They would have to take, the current members would have to take written tests, verbal tests as well, to see if they can actually manage that position, to see if they have a capacity that is good enough for us and the undersheriff to actually serve the community, because the community looks at the command staff and the deputies, but more so the command staff.
Hey, there's a
And
silent
then
alarm
supervising
260.
levels,
Y'all go right
we
in.
need to be able to know if they're able to supervise our deputies and not bullshit and jawjack as well. So we'll have separate trainings for separate levels in the hierarchy structure, along with a full-blown department
Right, sir,
scale
at this time,
training.
you are going to be placed under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Sounds good. Scrubby
More
Mo.
law. Right to attorney if our form will be appointed to you by state of Tennessee.
Oh, I was like,
Can you stand on your boss?
ask me that question more. Maybe one more time.
Yes, sir. As I saved them up, if you heard. This is a big one that a lot of times
Alright, sir, at
separates
this time,
departments and make people want to leave. So
I'm not going to be.
how would you want?
Not going to be.
How would
arresting
you make
okay?
sure your department members are ranked fairly?
Don't need to take you in for it. All right.
That's based on their
Out of you.
performance. Look, coming in, you're going to make people upset. Sheriff has the opportunity.
Here's your stuff back,
It
sir.
is
I'm
within
going to go ahead and
his
get this
right
bike
as a
towed,
sheriff.
okay?
Oh,
You want me to
okay.
call you
Establish
riding?
people in positions that are necessary for the sake of the department.
All right, sir.
People are going to
Have
give
a good
you
night, all right?
service, there's no
Stay
doubt
safe.
about that. When it comes to fairness of the ranking,
3101,
first and
show
foremost,
me
let me be clear on this.
One let go, two support.
Every deputy should strive to do as well as they possibly
Yeah, I
can.
didn't want to take him in.
That's how you're
because
going to
the
get promoted.
Situation over here.
It's not
meant to fall in front of him.
I know. And then he took off. Well, you did stop him, and then he got.
I'm going to take one for example.
It's
McFarland.
just bad. It's just
Lieutenant
bad.
McFarland has been outstanding.
I'm gonna head to
assets in
260.
Knox County Sheriff's Office. And I've had a conversation with him just earlier about that, and the sheriff can attest to this. Both myself and the sheriff were under the impression that Lieutenant McFarland was leading the command staff, not aware that he was just a sergeant. So that was done in the previous administration. We should have caught it ahead of time and bumped it to where we felt it was needed. So coming in, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to evaluate everybody's standards, where they sit, where they rank. And if adjustments need to be made, then those adjustments are made. Again, becoming sheriff is not about pleasing everybody. You're not obsessing people. So if people get demoted because that's what needs to happen, only the deputy himself can reflect on that and say, well, why did this happen? I'll give you an explanation. I'll be fair about it. I'll be respectful about it. You may not like my answer, but it's going to be fair.
Right.
So again, the only way a deputy can be fairly promoted is by him doing the fair work to be where he needs to be. And I will gladly evaluate that on a weekly basis.
Clear. That it?
Okay, I
Ready.
wonder where these guys went.
Adam?
Yeah, I'm good. That was it.
27 County. We're going to be clear. No suspects found on scene. We're going to be remaining.
Who's next?
You.
Okay, can you read the question one more time? Make sure I get it right.
Hey, Bubba.
Make
How would
sure I
you
get it
make
right.
sure your department members are ranked fairly?
I'd make sure. Tough one. I'd make sure they're ranked fairly by obviously their actions. Actions speak louder than words. Doing what you need to do. instead of saying that you're going to do it and never doing it. Obviously, I went blank again. Read the question one more time.
How would you
Incoming
make
911
sure
call.
your department members are ranked fairly?
Make sure they're ranked fairly by obviously how their actions are, how they perform, how they act towards other members of the department, how they act towards other command in the department. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Alrighty, I guess.
Hey, what was that location?
I think it all boils down to your presence. You've got to be active at all times. Be on traffic stops with different deputies, sergeants, corporals.
I mean, guys, there's no
knowing how they act in different situations and judging them and grading them from there. Weekly department meetings, knowing that we have a SOP and using it to our full advantage, and knowing your department as a whole, whether it's a deputy, a trainee, sergeant, whatever. Know what they're capable of, know if they have to move up, and do so accordingly.
Sounds good.
When are you gonna come?
You guys got any conflicts?
Well,
Guys, man, it's boring.
No, actually, I do have. I want to go back on to Frosty's answer.
of course.
I'm all about digging into things. Can you give me your answer one more time? In a brief, just a brief
way. So we'll have meetings with everyone, see where they're at, and then any adjustments will be made to the command structure, and then we'll move on to supervisor structure, and then obviously to the deputy structure. We'll also have a department-wide training to see where everyone's at. We'll split them up into groups to see kind of like so it's a little more spaced out and not just like a bunch of people lagging up the server. We'll have it on different parts of the airfield or whatnot, doing certain things to their specific areas of expertise.
In your original answer, did you say something along the lines of and I just want to be clear, make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Did you mention something about a lieutenant would be bumped down to a corporal depending on their skill sets? Is that something you said?
If they, yes, I did say that, and here's the reason why. If they do not have the skills necessary to possess the lieutenant position, then they'll be bumped down to the position that they have the necessary skill set stuff. So if they have a skill set of a corporal, you can do some advanced things as any subdivision and other aspects of that, but cannot cannot be consistently enough online in game to where they can lead a command position, or they like joke around too much. Like I joke around. Obviously, everyone knows that here. I'm Frosty. But they joke around like 24/7 on traffic stops, on scenes, on anything. Then they will have to be evaluated extensively, and then we have to make lieutenant to a corporal is a big demotion. So we have to have a procedure for that, obviously. But if that was the case, then we would most likely demote him either way if he does not possess the necessary skill set to be a lieutenant.
I don't know that I've ever heard something like that done in a law enforcement agency.
Well, we want to have the right command staff to lead the right people, and if they can't be serious and get their shit together, then we're going to demote them to where they need to be.
But you're talking about, I mean, that's what scares me. You emphasize on this on the lieutenant side down to corporal. Right. You're making
that's just an example. That's an example.
But that's what you're saying to everybody that's here now. That's everybody that's you're one of the votes. and everybody that's in here right now, including
Well,
myself, that'd be scary.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm not going to go around to certain people that I don't like and say, "Oh, you're demoted." You know,
That was a really
we would do
ridiculous ass
an evaluation on them. If I see that they can't possess something
was a
that they need to
ridiculous
possess,
ass
then we'll
fucking
do a more
call.
detailed evaluation.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to go around with the tip of my finger saying you're demoted down to deputy trainee. You're not promoted to fucking under sheriff. You know we're gonna evaluate you if you possess the skill set, right? Then you're staying at your job. If you don't, we'll figure out a solution for you and how you can improve on that to possess that necessary skill set. I'm gonna be honest. I do not want to demote people, but the people can't get their shit together, and I'm going to have to. It's their fault. I'm going to have to demote them. It's not my fault. I'm trying to run a department here that has minimal issues. So
You're gonna have issues, though.
yes, we are going to have issues.
And I think on what, to touch base on your answer there, you may not want to demote, and that's understandable. Right. But you can also not look at somebody and say, well, you don't have your crap together, so here's a demotion. Here's the thing about that. If they don't have their crap together, that's where the resources of your agency comes into play.
Yeah. This one's pretty cool.
No, right.
So
I agree with that.
Thanks. I'd probably get in trouble.
Yeah, that's why we're going to do a very thorough evaluation on that, because we do realize that we have resources, and we do realize that we need people to run the department. You can't go around the command staff saying, "Oh, you don't possess that, well, you're demoted." No, we have to look into them to see, hey, can they really do this? Hey, can they improve of this quickly enough to where we can still maintain our resources? We're not going to go with the magic wand and say, "Oh, yeah, you're demoted," like right now. No, we want to give them time to improve in that position. We want to give them time. But if they can't improve, well, too bad, so sad. You're going to be demoted since you couldn't improve in this amount of time.
We're closing.
No. I do have one thing to rebuttal with Mo. During Paddington's time, I was a deputy. When the new administration came through, the award ceremony came out, and I still was a deputy. That's probably where that got lost. And then after the administration took over, I will say I moved up pretty quick. But in the changing of guard, I was somehow lost. Now, with that being said, with this changing of guard, no deputy will be lost under my watch.
And I can resonate that also. Every time you have a change of command at any given moment in time, things are going to get lost. And fortunately for you is that it was caught, and it was addressed. So I could answer for that, but it's at the same time that we go back to me saying, look, mistakes happen. You were overlooked, but when that mistake was caught, and
hey, what's going on, brother?
Fairly quickly.
What's
and as I expressed earlier,
boss?
You are an asset to the department. So the rebuttal is to say that yes, there was a mistake that was made there.
I appreciate that, brother.
But again, nobody's perfect. The stress of coming in to overtake something, to make it yours, is going to come with a lot of failures. And that's
what they talking about. That's some good music right there,
man. That's what I'm
Fortunately,
saying.
again, for you, yes, you fell to the crack, but you were quickly picked up and reaffirmed to where you need to be.
Incoming 911 call.
That's some drive.
In all fairness, you should
right
actually
there, player.
be more to where you're at now. But that's
drive. You know what I'm saying?
That's prior conversation.
I appreciate you complying with us. We'll get out of your hair, okay?
But yeah, I appreciate your rebuttal to that.
I mean,
but no,
I can turn the music down just to talk.
Failures will happen, mistakes will happen. Nothing is perfect.
I mean, we just need
nothing anywhere is perfect.
Keep it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mistakes won't happen on my watch.
Still need me up here.
Prior conversations, I think the people want to know.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I'm gonna go to
I said you said prior conversations. I think the people want to know.
My bad.
Well, prior to this debate, I will say
you have a good day.
I had expressed, and I'm be honest with you, I had expressed with McFarland that first we wished each other good luck. Shook hands on that. We were hoping that everybody else was going to be there for a little prayer prior to, but it didn't happen. But I did express where I feel where McFarland should be. And that if I was honored to be elected as sheriff, that would be honored. and should be honored now, but it will be honored under my administration. That's, I mean, it's, you know, he deserves a promotion. That's should not sugarcoat. Man,
Hey, Mo,
that's, he needs a promotion. Yeah.
You said something about prayer, right?
Yeah, we're all gonna get together and have a little prayer before we went on stage, but now we're in a Zoom call.
You guys wanna lead a closing one out?
Well, we got
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Well, we can do that. Yes.
911 call.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah. But that's gonna be like at 1 or in the morning or something.
Frosty, calm down. We know you got school.
Yeah.
What if we're Big Bang Theory believers?
No, I'm going to the airport at like midnight tonight to pick up my dad's girlfriend. All right.
Sounds good.
Sorry.
Why?
Yeah.
Your desk. Anyway.
What?
Your dad's got a girlfriend?
Yeah.
What if we're Big Bang believers?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding.
All right,
Adam,
Q, you got anything else?
Yeah, we got a lot. If people want to know who they want to vote for.
All right.
Adam, the other three had conflicts. You got anything?
No, I mean, I think Mo and McFarland said. I mean, I believe everything they said, and I would say the same thing that they said. So no, I did not.
Gonna be the quiet kid in the corner. All right,
Yeah,
now
I'm
other
PhD,
questions.
34
These individual questions, nothing against you guys. I just looked at your past.
Look out for a break.
All these I believe are treated fairly. And then after this, we'll let the
place to be Oscar, Henry, Oscar, Egg.
As you stated, you were a sergeant. How would you improve that if you were
That's gonna
the
be
sheriff?
Charlie,
What difference would it make?
Oscar, Henry, Oscar, Egg.
I'll have more resources at hand. I won't be restricted by rank, and as you know, right now I'm in traffic, and I plan to use traffic, and to my full advantage. I plan to use the whole department to my full advantage, whether it be narcotics, traffic,
that's awesome. If a dev member could help out, that's awesome as well. But I would let them like mostly write everything out. I would help them as well, give them little ideas, inferences here and there. But it would mostly be up to the head of that subdivision to do everything. Because I'm here to lead the department. I'm here to oversee the subdivisions. I'm not here to lead the subdivisions. No, I'm here to lead a department, not
So Frosty, you are not planning to devote the time to a development role then, correct? Is that my assumption?
Well, yes and no. So on the yes part, yes, I'm willing to devote some time, not all time, some time to that, to try and help them get started, and then they can rocket off me helping them, like the ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's their responsibility to get everything in order since it is their subdivision, and I'm responsible for picking out who I want to lead those subdivisions based on their merit, and if they're actually able to run it. You know, I'm not gonna pick on a deputy. If they can run it, that's awesome. We'll have a chat. But I'm obviously gonna pick someone who has some experience in leading a subdivision. But like on the no part, it is their subdivision. I'm not, I will obviously oversee it since I'm the sheriff. I'm just here to give off ideas, but they're in charge of disciplinary action inside that division. They are in charge of the ring structure, how it's all going to go, how the SOPs are going to be right. If they want to have a texture, then that's up to them. They will have to go through me though to like get approved, but it's obviously automatic yes if they need a shirt texture or a vest texture. Then I'll ask one of the devs, or if they can do it, they should have to ask me, hey, can I do this? Now I'll tell them, yeah, make a ticket or whatever. But it is a yes or no question.
49 direct 16 tech work.
So what I'm wondering though is, are you willing to become a dev in order to expedite your subdivisions?
If someone would teach me, yes. But because all the YouTube videos I found on OpenIV are either a drunk Russian guy or a British guy can barely understand. All right. So.
Anybody else?
I think as sheriff you should have your hand in all the departments.
Yeah.
All of it. I think if traffic has an SOP, but if it can be improved upon, you need to do that. Traffic technically doesn't have a EUP. I think that needs to be established and worked on, and I think the sheriff should have a hand in that, no matter what he's got going on. I mean, you're going to have people's hands in the cookie jar, and you just got to sort out, which hand's the most important at the time. But at the end of the day, get it all done fairly and in a timely manner.
34 is that unit that requests me. Can you hear me on radio?
Yeah.
Kirby, you want to speak on that? Adam, either one of y'all?
I mean, I can go ahead and speak on this. I've got experience already.
I heard
somebody requested me earlier. Written out for it. When it comes to the libraries or any kind of dev stuff, of course, and I'm going to echo what Sergeant McFarland said. You got to have your hands in all of that. So you can't. You got to be able to do it and willing to do it. So. As sheriff, I can vow to you today that my devoted attention will be to all of that, and to continue
Your
making
attached call has been updated.
KCSO as great as it can be.
Bouncing off of what Bo said, yes, I will devote time to the subdivisions, but I will also devote time to the actual department as well, like the generality of it. I would love to devote all my time to the subdivisions, but it's just not possible. And even if it is, it'll be extremely difficult to do so. So that's why I appoint people.
3101, show me en route delays number 1.
They'll obviously lead the subdivisions because I'm leading the department. They'll also be leaders as well inside the department. But how do I say this? I can't do everything. It needs to be a team effort. But I will help as much as I can to try and develop subdivisions and so on and so forth.
I mean, if someone could teach me, I I'd gladly learn. I haven't even had a PC for 5 months, so I'm very new to all this. So I don't know how to do anything. I mean, I'm still learning stuff. I mean, it took me, might be funny, but it took me like 3 days to get my mic working and headset working because I couldn't figure it out. But I mean, if someone could teach me, I could do.
Already, and here right now, not big money pricey, but we're an hour and a half in, so we got a lot of people to get through. So if we could keep the answers, short.
Yeah, I got you. I just want to make sure the public knows what my intentions are, and not half-ass everything.
Gotcha.
What was the call sign of the unit? For me.
Yeah, I've got one more, and it's another blanket question for everyone. You know, as department heads, as command members, as leadership, what are your main tactics for dealing with the other department issues and other civilian issues? Are you going to take a lone wolf approach and kind of prioritize what you think, or are you going to well, what I'm asking is are you going to just go off by yourself and say, well, this is what I think, without asking anybody else, and I'm going to say this guy did this, so I'm going to ban him for so long, or I'm going to demote him for so long? Or are you going to get a pool of other members and members of your department and other staff members, etc., and come up with a plan for action on what's happening? Are you going? Basically, what I'm asking is, are you going to take a lone wolf approach, or are you going to be a team player?
At the end of the day, it's all a community. Your department is, you got to think of your department as a neighborhood. Everybody's got a say in things. People do their own things different ways. You've got to grab all that and feed off of it.
3101.
You can't run a department by yourself. It is going to be impossible, and you're going to crash and burn. If you don't pull opinions and answers from other people, then they're not going to respect you as a higher up. It just won't work like that.
All right. Anybody else want to take a stance on that?
I mean, look, Farland knocked on it pretty dang good, but nobody can ever make just a single decision by themselves. You have to incorporate everything around you to make a rational decision, a proper decision, a professional decision.
Ross, Adam.
What's up? I would so what I would do, I would take a team approach. You know, obviously interview who's having issues, and I'll go up to their command structure and say, hey, he's having issues with my guy, or the other way around. Can we please settle this, together? Depending on what they want to do, then it's gonna be a team effort, but it's based upon the command structure of their side and stuff. I'm just here to report the issue to them. They're the ones to handle it. I have no say in it, other to then quit it and stop. But with my guys, then it's another issue, because I am their command structure. I would do disciplinary actions on them if I see need fit to do so.
All right. Would you? My question though is would you do that? Kind of sounds like you would do it by yourself, or would you take a few of your other command members and get them together and say, hey, this is the circumstance that I'm dealing with. What do you guys think I should do? This guy's doing this. Do you think I should just warn him? Do you think I should demote him? Do you think he deserves a suspension even? What is your idea about how to handle those command scenarios? Since you're the sheriff, are you going to make those decisions by yourself, or are you going to take recommendations from others as well?
No, I'll take them. Wait, are you asking me or everyone?
Your attached call has been updated.
I mean everyone, but specifically you right now.
Yes. I would obviously, take in team ideas, see what their input is, and then we would try to make a compromise. Or I would pick the best answer from them as well, or what the best answer is fit to do, to try and, accomplish the issue, or to solve the issue, I should say.
All right. Adam?
I was not present for the question because something's going on.
I'll go ahead.
So I apologize.
Here on out, if we could keep the responses under 30 seconds.
So are you going to take if you were to be elected, are you going to take a lone wolf approach to making decisions for inter-department issues and intra-department issues, or are you going to get a collective amount of people that are in your department or in other departments and get them together and say, hey, what do you think is the best course of action we should take here? Or are you going to make those decisions by yourself without the opinions and guidance of others?
No, I would definitely take the opinions and guidance from others and definitely listen to what they have to say and try to understand what we need to improve on and stuff like that, and fix what we've done wrong and make it better and see how we can improve. So no, I would not do it all by myself.
Alrighty, anybody else from THP? Nope.
Ruckman William, you got anything? Can you hear?
No, sir.
Alright, we'll move on to KPD.
Oh wait, I do have a question for Adam though.
No, you've had your time. It's our time.
Yeah, you've had about.
You've had 3 hours. We're debating you. Y'all ain't debating each other. Let me go ahead and start. All right, Frosty. First of all, you say when you become sheriff, you're going to remain professional, correct?
Yes.
As your candidacy goes on tonight, you're joking, laughing, making derogatory statements towards sexuality, which offends people. Shouldn't you already be acting professional since you are running for the position? And shouldn't you act for the position you want?
No, you didn't make a good point. Yes, I've been not professional as other people may see. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you feel that your age and your maturity level make it harder for you to maintain a position with that type of authority?
Yes and no. With my age, I'm 14. If no one knows that, it is hard for me to focus sometimes with people. You know, our minds go to different places all the time. It is also hard to hold back jokes and whatnot. I will say I'm obviously trying to work on it.
Okay, that's good. That's no. Let's keep it going quick. Adam, you're good. We gotta keep going. Adam.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel, based on the issues you've had within your department with said people, if you were to become sheriff, they would respect you and listen to you?
I would hope so, but I couldn't completely say yes.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Okay. Mo.
Sir.
The KPD officer said he had an issue with a guy the other day. He said that his command staff, he reached out to them directly and they kept him from leaving. Do you feel you have that type of communication with your deputies as sheriff as to where they will talk stuff out with you instead of just leaving the server like they have done previously?
Yeah. Short of that one isolated incident, every deputy that I've interacted with have come and approached their concerns with me and addressed it then. So yes, they have that confidence in me to address their concerns.
Okay. So the deputy that left never come to you and talked about it. He just decided to leave.
He left prior to engaging with me first, and didn't give me an opportunity to resolve that issue.
So do you feel that means he does not have that connect with you then?
Hey, brother,
frankly, I can't. I don't know his state of mind on that. It was very early in my tenure as OT, so I can't.
This guy was moving.
Hey, sir, do you care to roll down the window for me?
Here you go. Have a good day. Hi, how you doing?
Doing all right, sir. How are you?
I'm good. What are you pulling me over for?
Yeah, reason for stop. You see me driving a little recklessly. You have anything to drink, Dad?
I don't drink, bruh.
Okay.
Yeah, he sounds like he's slurring his words.
Have you been at the bar?
I just woke up. I was in bed for like 14 hours, but I just woke up.
I got you.
The car's done warmed up, bro. I normally supposed to warm this car for like 2 hours or an hour and a half, and I don't. But I just started a bitch and there.
I'm having a hard time understanding you, sir.
I'm a little tired.
Gotcha. Okay. You sure you haven't had anything to drink today?
Nah, I've been sober for 18 years.
Okay, sir. You got
For
license
20
for
years.
shape proof insurance on you?
Sure. Hey, there you go. Let me stretch over the seat there.
All right. What's the name on this, boss?
Bullet. J. Diesel.
All right, sir. Sit tight for me.
Buddy.
How's it going, brother? I'm doing pretty good. Hell yeah, I love your car. Oh, I know. Gas guzzler too.
All right. Has
Well, I know it's got a supercharger, but straight pipe's what's gonna make it hella loud.
I don't got no muffler at all, but it's stinging. Oh, bro.
Hell yeah.
I don't listen to music. I just listen to nothing.
all right, Mr. Diesel. When did you get your license reinstated?
You know, I went down earlier and I got it fixed, you know.
And it was suspended. Seems awful
I know.
short.
I had to go fix it, yeah. I had to go pay extra.
I got you. Okay.
They said if I pay them $2,500, they get it fixed. So I pay them $2,500.
Okay.
Pricey, but okay.
What'd you get it taken for?
What? What do you mean taken?
This guy's getting a ticket.
Oh yeah, I was I did a few things. I don't know. I forgot actually. Yeah, I forgot. Bad, because I'm a criminal. I stole a car earlier in the day. In the morning, I stole a BMW.
Okay, so he's admitting to.
That's fine. I already went to jail for it. I got a jail for it already. You know me? Nah, that BMW was a bitch. That car sucked, bro. That BMW sucked, bro. It didn't have no power, but I guess I think it wouldn't go at all like that. I want to get a BMW M3, but that's my dream car. Or one of these, or a Charger, or old car like Monte Carlo, the older ones. Yeah, dude, that's a project car.
Hey,
I want to get one of these engines, put in like a little ass bitty car. That's where that shit goes.
Well, I'm just saying, last time, you know, I stole your car and you stole my car.
How did you guys' car half green, half black? Mine, your car is half green, half black. It's on mine, it's half green. I don't know why the fuck, but it's half green. I know I am colorblind.
It's a nice Durango.
So let me open the door for you. Look at that, babe. Look at that, babe. Look at that, babe.
Make it look like.
Oh yeah, I should shut the door. I got things and you can't see. You don't know what's under the seat. Dude, but I got a big old DVD in that bag.
Alright, sir, so this time
Yep.
you're going to be receiving a citation for aggravated speeding.
Fucking
That's
citation,
25.
bro.
That's 25 over the limit, okay? So it is
Okay.
going to have a mandatory court appearance. That's going to be next Wednesday at 12 o'clock, okay?
Shit, that's perfect timing, bro. I get off my bitch's house at 11. I can head to the courthouse. Hell yeah.
I got you, brother, I got you. If you don't mind a sign right here, it's not an admission to guilt. I'm just saying you're going to appear for court and take care of the fine. Alright, sir, here's your copy. Here's your information back. You have a blessed day, alright?
Good day.
Have a good day,
In
bro.
my car, hon. Listen.
Be safe. Okay.
Front, away. 76. 3101 should make any.
You've been detached from your assigned call.
I was new to the department then, and so I opened my door to Frosty and explained to him that leaving the service is not the option. It's not a good option. To resolve the issue, you can come talk to me about it, and I think I made that clear, and I do have an open door policy.
Right. I would like to elaborate on that. Me personally, I just don't like to open up about stuff, especially with that type of situation. I like to kind of resolve it on my own. I just needed a cool down from it. You know, I also joined back after some persuasion from other members, who I'm very thankful and very blessed to have wanted me back. But I just needed to cool down on that moment. It got me very heated. It was in the heat type of situation. That's why I've left. But it's just, I do trust Mo and his ability to talk, and so it's just me. I'm not that open to anyone, especially my family. I count this place as my second family. I'm just not open to anyone, really.
Sounds good.
Guys, I've got one more if y'all have time.
Yep.
This might have been
finished.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yep. Fernandez City have one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I have a question directed to one candidate here. This one's directed to Kirby. So we're all talking about how you're gonna better the department, right, in your future. But I want to kind of get some information known on your past. I know you've been a chief deputy for a long time here, and I kind of want to get to know, obviously, before I vote, some information and some things, significant changes that you've done throughout your time as chief deputy, so we can see, maybe how you operate, maybe some changes that were effective or not effective. If you could just kind of enlighten me on some major policy changes or major departmental changes that you made throughout your time and your term, serving under sheriff and then obviously serving under our old sheriff. That'd be very informational.
Sure. So primarily within my time as KCSO, and I'll give you a little background on me. I come from THP prior to this. Background military.
Hey, 1426 per minute, 1080 on 25.
Rose into the ranks as I went. So when it came to KCSO, THP originally was my home, and I had made it my home. And then due to the status of KCSO, I was requested to come in and assist in revamping KCSO. I objected a little bit at first, but I grew warm to the opinion, the opportunity. So in our time at KCSO, our membership has grown. We have new vehicles that were implemented, policies that were implemented. SWAT SOP has been written under my working on of course, the traffic unit has been opened up. Also working on a narcotic unit, in which Captain Hill, Adam is working through. So we do have a little bit of bugs to work through that, but it's things that are going through. I would say that things at KCSO, or again, everything has room to improve. So I don't want anybody to think that I don't think there's any issues. But I want to be clear that the KCSO is a much better spot than it is when I first came in. With the help of the current sheriff, John, I feel like a lot of good things have been done. We've seen some transfers there and there, but of course, we don't stop anybody from going where their heart desires to go. And I can speak to that because I've done that.
Okay, 49.
So, to better answer your question, I would look at the deputies that we have now, see where they stand. seeing the growth in the department as far as an agency and how big it is now in comparison to what it was when I first came into that agency. So there's still a lot more work to do, and I look forward to doing that work. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that did. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 2-4. They're gonna have 2 more. So I never got their ID or anything.
All right.
I'm gonna have one of these bikes right here.
Everybody knows. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I've got one more that I might have missed.
Go ahead.
So to all of you guys, do you guys have a plan for what you're going to do for your higher command members? What you're going to do for your O2, your O3,
I've got these
and subsequent levels? You already have someone in mind. Is that going to possibly change what is already in effect right now? Are you going to be dishing some out to make room for new people? I mean, can you guys kind of touch on what your ideas are there?
I'll lead off on that one.
Incoming 911
being
call.
an O2, I kind of understand the layout of that. So obviously, if I am graciously voted as sheriff, I do have my my O2 and O3.
What's the postal to that over?
Some within department, and I think the way I'm hoping you're not asking me to elaborate on who. But I do have.
Not if you don't feel comfortable with it.
I think we'd like to know.
Yes, the people would like to know.
Oh boy.
Yes, we would, because it could technically be poaching. Are you poaching other departments to pull their guys as you become sheriff?
That would not. Well, there again. No, I would not be poaching necessarily. See, that's a loaded question there.
Slippery slope.
A very slippery slope. However you look.
Sounds like some poaching might be happening.
Kirby, what do you mean
by
not necessarily?
Hold on, jump. So I'm clear on something. Y'all do understand that I was poached in the first place, right?
Yeah.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be going down that road, I do come back to punch.
Just hit it wide open. Do it. Go.
Yeah. If I have it my way, McFarland will be in my top 3, and McComb would be in my top 3 also.
McComb
From another department.
Yeah, he's a commander at Tennessee Highway Patrol.
That,
okay.
of course, would be.
Have we had prior communication?
Okay.
And are you trying to cripple another department for your gain as sheriff? If you're taking their command staff, do you not feel like you're crippling that department?
No, and here's the reason why: is because the agency that you currently hold, the current staff in every agency right now, as it sits, has a working system. Sometimes you do have to take a good one to make another one good. Sometimes it has to come from somewhere else. And again, I'm going to speak
your tenure.
In my tenure.
Oh my
again,
God,
it's
no way.
I come from a different
Oh
agency.
man, you know how long it took me to do that, dude?
Apparently I was valued enough to come to KCSO.
I did not think you guys were real.
Did you not see the 37,000 bikes?
No, I just thought that was like somebody modded or something. I don't know, dude.
Jesus Christ, man! You know how long it took me to do that?
I'm sorry.
Damn it! I was looking for Officer Silvers, senior officer for KPD.
T/forced delete pet. And I was like, these guys aren't getting deleted. They're just standing here. And then I looked at the name tag. I was like, oh.
God, dude, it took me like 45 minutes to set all that up.
Oh.
Golly.
Sorry, dude.
No, you're good, man.
Bad.
You should have saved it, Bobby.
Well, it wouldn't have saved the bikes.
K49, I'm gonna have those 2 bikes that ran from us grab flat wheels right up the street from the airfield.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Y'all doing alright tonight?
Well, we were doing great.
I know.
He's gonna continue to ride, I'm sure.
I seen you roll up and almost hit me. I was like, Jesus.
What's a 20 on the tape?
We're gonna be he crashed out postal 267. Do we have RMFD or KFC actors right now?
Y'all gonna be on the airfield. Hey, pull it over, Bubba. Pull it over. Don't run. Don't run. Pull it over. Pull it over. 3101. I'm gonna be at 1080 heading westbound 70 airfield. Be a bike. Whiskey Mike. Doing wheelies. He's gonna crash out 257. 257. Hey, Bubba, get on the ground for me. Get on the ground. No. 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 Get on the ground. Get on the ground. You're gonna get tased. 3101, tase deployed. Don't move. Don't move. Prong is ringing. Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. No.
Can't hear nobody.
Get down on your knees. Face away. Face away. You're gonna get it again, dude.
4026 is only in pursuit of that box.
3101, I got one at Taser Point, 250, into airfield. Get on the ground, bub. You're gonna get it again.
Yeah, we're gonna be at the airfield. Postal 26.
Get down.
K49, if you want to just slow down.
You got 5 seconds.
Continuing.
Don't move.
Postal 277.
Come on, man.
Continuing on railroad track. Postal 277.
Hey man, what did I do?
What do you mean what you do? You're over
What did I
recklessly
do?
driving.
I wasn't on the road though.
Well,
I
when
thought
you
I was
don't
gonna be
stop, when you don't
alright.
stop.
Be advised, it's gonna be a green dirt bike.
Oh,
One.
my bad. I couldn't hear you, man.
Yep.
You got anything on that's gonna stick me, poke me, harm me anyway?
No, sir. I ain't got nothing.
You got ID on your boss?
I should, unless it fell out of my pocket. I don't know.
You need medical? I'm gonna call an ambo down here for you.
All right.
Thing. A roster's a roster, and if you take a valuable guy away from one, something can flood.
Why don't you guys
You
just
don't mind
start
me
your own
asking,
department?
where do I
See if,
find the
there's any
ID
good
at?
people in there, and then maybe try to project it.
I mean, I don't think anybody should be poaching.
So, Kirby, I got a question for you. So, in a sense, again, going back, because this is kind of like a big deal, of course, this flow. We're not trying to point, the public's not trying to point you in a view as poaching members from different agencies. But again, we're just trying to figure out the understanding of what your thought process is while bringing an 02 and an 03 from a different agency. Now, again, the reason why I asked McComb is if he was going to a sergeant's rank underneath, KCSO, would he still go? Now, again, he got a little messed up there. And again, that's my question is, again, in different terms, say we're not speaking about law enforcement whatsoever. Say I work for a plumbing company, right? This plumbing company's paying me $21. Here comes another plumbing company that says, hey, I'm going to give you $26 an hour if you quit your job and you come over to where I'm at. Right? What am I going to do? $26 exactly, right? Different things, right? And we all get that, the different opportunities open. So I don't want you to think that the public is trying to point you with an eye at coaching. We just want to get an understanding of your thought process while Liz bringing in a higher rank.
No, and I completely understand what you're saying, and I was not. If the thing about that is again, I come from a unique situation, which is a situation that typically I would not assume happens frequently.
The
situation that we're at right now is because I was brought in as an interim, and while I come to enjoy the job that I was doing as a sheriff that we currently have, I'm up for election. Again, using the same concept,
Just
which
make
I
me
was
a
brought in.
station.
In order to structure, again, it's a big thing. In order to structure
Can I
something,
get county
sometimes
tow
you
East
have to
Russell
make
Road
availability to something
300
else.
for
And
a
I
green
look
dirt
within
box?
my agencies for other opportunities I have. That's why McFarland's name came up. And that's where I realized that McFarland was not in the position that he should have been, and I stated that earlier. McFarland should have been in the command staff as it stands. Why is he not? I can't answer that question because I don't have the answer. But I do have the answer that if you do elect me, that McFarland will be in his rightful place. Unless y'all disagree and you put him as 01, then I will support that 100% too. That's where I stand with that.
I have a question. You say that, I mean, you're the 02 and you said
I
he
am.
should be, so why is he not?
That conversation just happened not even 3 days ago.
Because he's not the 01.
But he stated the 01 and the 02 put power in everybody's hands, have a voice.
Say that again.
K49 is going to be back
But you
10-8.
stated you and John have a great relationship, and
we do.
So why wouldn't you mention that?
Because that's an oversight that was brought to my attention by him. We're in conversation, so we're transparent again. There was a conversation that happened between myself and the sheriff, in which we realized why is McFarland, and I don't even remember what exactly spawned that, but the question was asked right then and there, is he not in command? And we both kind of just went dumbfounded on that one, and was like, oh, no, I guess, I'm not sure. So, again, I'm not perfect to that. Me personally, look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm okay with McFarland becoming the sheriff, and honestly, he has my endorsement. So that speaks volume on who he is. He has my endorsement for number 2. He has my endorsement across the board. So that I'm gonna step to that level.
So
I also
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Sheriff.
I would also like to add, I think partially, if not all, of the McFarland not being command situation probably falls on me because, when you're trying to, I guess, re-ramp up the KCSO,
Show me a 1011 with a
there's a lot of
four-door
things that
black
fall through
color,
the cracks,
black Rango, East Russell Road, 282, development,
the server tasks and everything like that. So I do apologize, McFarland. That was my fault.
It's all good. It's all good.
Especially, I mean, since we had a lot of this was prior to kind of us cleaning house a little bit with command members, so there's a lot of communication that was mishandled, in my opinion, that definitely could have resulted in a better result for sure. So yeah, I just appreciate you sticking with us, and we'll get it ironed out for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So I got one more question, and then I'll shut up and stop. Yeah. This question's we'll take the heat off you, Kirby. I got you for a little bit. So this question will be for, let me actually see. Hickman's running, right? Super First Class Hickman?
Me?
Yeah, you're running for sheriff, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So this question is going to be for you.
Yep.
So this is, again, I'm kind of going to yap a little bit here. You're at more of a disadvantage than all your other candidates, right? Kirby, Hill, McFarland, they're all in that department.
Yes, sir.
Because they already know the ins and outs, right? McFarland knows the operations, right? He's a sergeant. He's a patrol operator. He knows the ins and outs. Hill, he's a captain. He knows the ins and outs. Kirby, he's the 02. He knows the ins and outs. What ways are you going to, as a outsider, going to enhance your chances and effectivity as becoming a sheriff? Obviously, you have to keep in mind that the people that are running against you now not only have the advantage of knowing everything in the department, having information already, policies known in the department. How are you going to take a front hand to step into this role if you were to get sheriff? And what ways are you going to take to be able to, in a sense, keep the department's history and keep different situations while becoming an outsider? How are you going to take that step in as a recruiter?
Well, first of all, people have to understand that I was a part of KCSO as a corporal for trafficking, all right? So I do have experience inside the department.
And that was how long ago?
Guesstimate a month ago in a week.
And
you're probably close.
Yeah, a month ago in a week, I think, yeah.
Okay, so what was your reason for departing?
It was drama.
Okay.
I'll put it like that, yeah.
And did you take that did you take that upper hand and inform the upper command members of the issues you were presenting, or did you just say, "Hey, I'm done with this. I'm just going to leave"?
We previously stated that earlier in this debate. So if you want to DM one of the members, I'm not going to go into it at all right now because I'm going to try to
I
answer.
just want to know your thought process.
Yeah, you're good.
While let's deal with the drama, so we can know if drama occurs that our sheriff isn't just going to say, "Hey, I'm off to Minnesota County to serve as another sheriff." You know, we want to make sure that you're not going to opt out from a situation because there's too much stress or there's too much issues like that. I just want to make sure.
I've learned that opting out is not the best option in any case scenario. It is lead to me, being a trooper first class. I should have stayed, let the uppers handle it. That's first of all. Second of all, being an outsider trooper first class, I feel like that is an opportunity to get on an insight about how the troopers do it. Troopers are way more stricter than the KCSO. They have more standards than KCSO. They are overall a stricter, more firmer organization than the sheriffs do. By bringing in that strictness, firmness, all those policies to elaborate on the KCSO, it could benefit, also hurt the department as well because the strictness is so tight that it is hard to breathe in it. And hold on. Yep. And do you mind if I continue talking, Corporal?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, it's just
Yeah, and we can honestly go off the policies and stuff, but by incorporating some of the policies that troopers have, they have a tighter traffic policy, not a traffic unit. They have a tighter traffic stop policy. By including that with the KCSO, I feel like we can really benefit off of that as a department because our traffic stops, I've noticed as a.
You said what now, boss?
I need to do my KCSO ride along. You feel me?
Oh, have you done your training already? Have you done training?
Yes.
I can ride with you.
Top me. If you want to go right across the street, we can park out back and we can hop in a car together.
That'll work.
So let me get this. Let me interject here. You're saying a lot about the Tennessee Highway Patrol's policies, right? That was the big main topic here. And again, I wasn't present throughout the whole debate, but why are you going to take the policies from the Tennessee Highway Patrol and implement them in a completely opposite department again, which has completely opposite situations and circumstances? Okay, as we know, sheriff departments have leeway, in certain extent with different policies. If you wanted to do situations like that, why not just stay in your current department and attempt to get to a higher rank where you can benefit and continue to teach people that instead of switching the department? Because at this rate, you're
bad.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Well, I'm Alexander Hill.
Pleasure to meet you.
Adam Hill. I have experience as supervisors and other servers.
Who did your training tonight?
It was Adam earlier.
Gotcha.
I'm in Hayden, surprisingly.
Hayden trained you?
He helped Adam. Four to 28 is going to be 10:41 10 after KCSO.
Good. Fix your plate and your visors there.
Visor. Oh, bro. Do not reload my visor.
If I don't respond, it's because I'm listening to the debate a little bit as well.
Oh, you're good.
In a sense, you're not really working, right? As I've kind of heard Kirby, and I've been in and out here hearing Adam, I've been in and out here hearing McFarland, they're going to bring in new and improved.
Right. And,
hold on.
Almost like you're just copying a framework from.
I agree. Hold on. At this rate, why are you taking all of Colonel Bout's work? Because again, those are policies that him and his team, hold on, don't interject. Those are policies that him and his team have established and figured out throughout their department that helps them improve. That basically is now pushing work off of your shoulders, making it an easy sheriff election for the years you're dedicated there, and you're not doing any work at all. If you're saying, like how you're saying here, traffic stop procedures are going to be taken from THP. Suggestions and information that you've obtained at THP is going to be pulled into the sheriff's department. That's not really showing us your appropriate work ethic, and that's not showing us how in a sense, you get what I'm saying? You're basically just taking ideas from somebody else and using them. While the other sheriff electees have brought up new ideas from their own brain. Ideas
genuine effort.
while list serving as a command member. And I feel like you, again, as we just had this conversation, you're kind of just making it, in a sense, why don't we just ask Bout to be the sheriff then at that rate, if that's what you're going to do? I mean, you get what I'm saying? Why are we going to pull Then, why don't we have general and made ideas? That's my question. I don't want
I'm going to interject just a second, sorry. We got about 20 more minutes, guys. Just heads up.
Okay. Yeah. Going off what Purple Aaron says, yes, I understand his viewpoint. Yes, it does seem like I'm going to copy Colonel Bao's policies. We are going to develop new policies, like fresh policies straight from the bottom. We are going to implement those. We're going to take ideas off of what Colonel Bao's policies are on very little stuff, like the little stuff, try and help enhance those new policies that we are going to create. So we are not trying to copy Colonel at all. We are trying to implement little ideas into our new policies, try and enhance them a little more than what we originally put them as.
Okay. My question though is if you can't come up with completely new policies from the ground up and implement them, how can we expect you to run a whole entire department if you just can't come up with your own ideas from the ground up and don't have to take from other departments?
Well, obviously we can't replace every single policy we have here. That's it is possible, but it's just, I feel like that we have other stuff to worry about as well. And policies are very, very important within KCSO. I feel like we have to work on the very important ones, and then we can, at a later time, we can look on the other ones. But that is not, can you repeat your question so I can get that second part in? Because I do not, can you elaborate on that second part, as I should say?
I mean, it was pretty upfront and straightforward question.
Yeah.
So
there is no elaboration.
What us as the people are looking for is a sheriff. Reason why we run elections, okay, is we're looking for a sheriff, and we are voting upon sheriffs that can bring forth new ideas to Knox County. Right. Now, can you make us some sort of, and I'll let everybody else have questions here because I know I'm kind of being a little bit of a yapper here, but can you give us, as the people, some information of how you're going to bring in new ideas? Because I just asked you that same question, right? But you basically just turn out into a way that it's just going to be Colonel Bout's department because it's going to be his ideas and his policies and the policies that he set. But we as the people want new things. Again, we obviously know that every department has its flaws. We've seen situations, and the command members of THP and the command members of KPD and even the fire departments have established that they know that each department has issues. Mm-hmm. But why are we going to, again, the point of bringing in the sheriff is making new policies. So why? I want you to get this out of here because now it's kind of sounding like we're just pulling stuff from other people's departments. And again, we would love for you to use experience in THP. You now know commercial vehicle enforcement laws and situations like that. But we don't want to see a copy and paste of THP to KCSO. So what policies, and I'm going to run down this again, what policies as a sheriff are you going to bring, because I hear you talking about traffic stops and things like that. Give me maybe 3 policies that you're going to bring in that are opposite from THP. Completely.
Right, so I haven't done much thinking on this, but I'll try to get some from this top without THP. Obviously on traffic stops, I've noticed that people have a habit of pulling up, going to the cruiser, talking to them, getting in the way of traffic stops. I would like that to make a policy is to, roll up to a traffic stop, talk to them, not interdict in a way where they take over the scene, but in a way to have conversations. I know someone touched bases with this earlier, but that's a policy that I would really like to see happen. That will happen if I do take over command. Another policy is like a felony traffic stop. There's obviously, you have to, people, you obviously request for 32, but I've noticed that people over radio traffic, they don't put it out as a code 5 or as a felony traffic stop. Then just saying, hey, can I have 2 additional 32s here? And then they pull in and say, hey, we're going to do a felony traffic stop. Just say, hey, I'm doing a felony traffic stop. I need additional units immediately. That's something I would like to see happen too. And then I can't think of a third one right now because you're putting me on. No, I have to think on my head.
Well, I got a question really quick.
Yes.
So you keep mentioning traffic stop, traffic stop. We get the traffic stop. I feel
Mhm.
like it's miscellaneous. What's something that's actually big? Like, what's something that doesn't, like,
There we go.
it would be huge? Yeah.
Agreed, because I mean I don't feel like those two policies are really going to enhance a department. I mean they're not.
You're kind of sounding like you need to be at a position where you're a patrol sergeant because a lot of your ideas are mainly shift patrolling. As a sheriff, you're now going to have to focus on, you know, in a sense, different policies in different situations. Now, instead of just running 6 guys out of an area, you're now going to have to run 200 guys out of a whole county. So you're making it more like you seem like a patrol supervisor instead of somebody who should actually be a sheriff electee.
Guys, let me interject real quick. I would like to point out Kirby is the only one that answered my question earlier. The other 3 haven't responded to my question. So he's the only one that's given a clear answer and a thorough answer about what I asked earlier about command and implementing those members, by the way.
Oh,
so,
I thought that was a direct question.
No, it was a question for all 4 of you, and so far Kirby's the only one that answered.
Is it good if I answer after I answer Gregory's question?
Whatever you want to do. I just wanted to point out Kirby's the only one that's given a clear and direct answer about it so far.
Yes. Yeah, so going to Gregory's answer, a big department change would be you know, I can't think of one off the top of my head right now, but I do have some written down that I cannot find because I've deleted them. I'll try to find
that.
Right.
With that being said, though, if you can't think of 3 policies off the top of your head, what are you gonna do when, you know, a bunch of shit goes down and you have to think off the top of your head, you know, split second?
Yeah,
how can we?
Terrible.
I mean, how can we expect somebody like that to be in control of a whole entire department?
Well, I can't think of 3 in-depth policies off the top of my head, that's first of all. Or second of all, off the top of my head in a situation, if I have to get into a gunfight, that's a different thing. You know, we're trained to draw our guns and point it and eliminate target that's trying to eliminate us.
It's not the same, though. And honestly, I feel like you're just kind of going around in circles.
You're not applying. You're not applying for a sergeant position, Mr. Hickman. You're applying for a sheriff electoral position. You are not going to be hitting the streets anymore. You are not going to be, you know, pulling people over for not turning their right blinker on. You're now in charge of 200 people, a whole county, and all that. And you're just telling us departmental policies that a sergeant handles, not that a sheriff should handle. That's my closing statement. Everybody else.
Everybody. I interject with one question. I got one, and I'll let it all go. Okay, so I'm listening to you. KPD has a policy. If we stop a car, we have a minimum of 2 officers on scene. Officer safety is first priority. You're saying that you don't want an extra officer on a scene for a traffic stop where the subject could be a felon, he could be armed with a gun, he could have just killed someone. So are you saying officer safety is not as important as stopping a car? Because you're basically saying, hey, I only want 1 officer to stop a car. So if that 1 officer gets in a gunfight, you don't want another officer behind him to assist him. So you're saying that your brother would not rather intimidate the driver of the car by having an extra officer on the scene versus if that guy has just killed someone and jumps out and shoots an officer, he has no backup because you're going to tell him he can't come up on a scene with another officer.
And realistically, if you drive by a scene and you're not doing anything, I mean, realistically, you stop.
You're not interrupted. All right.
So are you rather have a murdered officer and a criminal that wasn't intimidated?
Can I just say something in regards to the 01 not making traffic stops? I'm going to disagree with that right out the gate. If my guys are going to be doing the job, why would I not be able to?
I 100% support that.
You may have a department to run, but you still have a job to maintain. You took a note.
Right.
I just want to be clear on that. I don't want people to think that because you're elected sheriff, and even myself as well too. Well, Sheriff John and myself, we've been out there on patrols. We've made traffic stops. We've made arrests. I mean, we'll go into the thick of it. As any sheriff, any elected position, or any higher ups in command, I would expect all of them to step in.
and because that's something that I just
what the hell?
Right. My situation.
It stuck out. That's the only thing that stuck out from what.
And I'll elaborate that for you. My situation for that wasn't meaning, no, you're a sheriff, you don't ever touch the street. My situation for that was meaning he is taking the aspect of patrolling and emphasizing it and bolding it.
I get.
It's no longer, you're no longer pretty much working the beat. You're no longer just a deputy. You're now in charge of, again, like I said, 200 people in charge of Knox County, you're in charge of all this stuff. And again, that was my point of saying, I wasn't saying no, sheriffs don't patrol. I was saying no, now your priority needs to shift. Now you don't have to just focus on patrol.
I just wanted to clarify that little portion of that. I know what you're saying. I just want to make sure everybody else understood that if you're elected, it does not matter. You are still bound to do it.
I see you guys out there all the time patrolling.
Like to look this up. So if you've already asked, could we kind of open the floor to people who haven't asked the questions, like the running boys and who hop in here?
Yeah, I think Ray got a question. You got Keto.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so just want to introduce myself. I'm Thomas Luckland. I just want to real quickly ask the people that are here tonight that are running for the candidacy. So during this debate, there was one point that was a solid 45 minutes. You guys were going at each other.
Road down from Marina Drive at that intersection, postal 297.
Most of you guys are in the sheriff's office, and one or two of you, if you got the sheriff position, you would then move into the sheriff's office. So with all of these different negative things you've spoken about each other, yes, it's a debate, but I feel like at one point it went further than a debate and it got down to a personal level. How would you guys deal and cooperate with the people that you're working next to?
Oh, I mean, with full respect, yeah, those were issues, but they've all been squashed at this point.
Yeah,
it's not personal. You just gotta, in a debate, you've just gotta bring those situations up. That's all it is, and hash it out. I mean, a debate at the end of the day is a debate, and I mean, you wanna get the best idea of who you're dealing with for candidacy. And if you have to bring out those situations to understand what happened and the structure behind it, that's just something that's going to happen.
Sometimes you got to create a little turmoil in a debate to be able to really figure out what you're dealing with.
I hate to stop you for a second. Let's just take away the badges and take away what department we're working for. At the end of the day, we're all family, we're all brothers, we're all here to watch each other's backs, no matter what department. That's why we bring this stuff up, to squash it, get it done and over with, get it out. That way, because we got to watch each other's backs out there, no matter what department, no matter what rank, we all do the same job, we're all sworn on the same thing. We just do our job, go home.
Name and registration. Well, he's just.
Anybody else who hasn't spoke yet have a question?
I do want to go ahead and ask. So this is directed to mostly Mo, McFarland, and Adam. I've worked closely with y'all as FD back when I was KPD, Lieutenant THP. Are y'all? I know y'all are. I know, like Adam, he said he'd only got like 5 months of experience.
There you go.
I've reached out to both Adam and Frosty with them not knowing how to do much deving stuff, because I've done some development. I've ran departments before, and I want to know, are y'all willing to go outside of y'all's departments? For example, like RMFD, they're getting assistance from Gator with liveries for their fire department. Would y'all be willing to go outside of y'all's departments to help with the development stuff that y'all need?
I mean,
why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Absolutely.
I mean, I'm on all the time. What else am I doing?
So I want to say something in all this, and that's a very good question. There's only one person in this whole platform right now that can testify to this, and it's something I've said over and over and over again. I will continue to say this. It doesn't matter where I'm at, frankly. When it comes to the server, I cherish the server. And again, only one person can attest to this. I care about the server, and I will do anything that is asked of me in the server. So whether I'm KCSO, THP, it doesn't matter where I'm at, frankly. What matters is that this server at the end of the day is the greatest server that there is. We're picking up people left and right. I've got my own people. I run a full-time, I run a in real life fire department. So when it comes to leadership, I've dealt with this. My own people are actually joining the server because, one, they know that I enjoy the crap out of it. I talk about it all the time. So to answer that question, if you are not willing to step into another agency to help out, whatever, it's not just in the development side of it. I could tell you that I can go to Josh and say, hey man, what do you need help
Hey, I'm
with,
gonna
or
call
what do you
for
think
one
about
more
this?
additional.
Or it doesn't. There's nothing.
Well,
I would like
seen
for
in the
somebody to
CAD.
just point out to me where it's bad to go to some to go to another agency.
If I can have
40,
one
28. If I can
to
have
get
more
any kind of
additional,
ideas or get any kind of help or anything. So
code 5.
it was said earlier,
Sorry, code
we're all
5.
family.
Yeah, you might want to
yes,
get a gun.
You should be willing to go anywhere to help in any shape or way you can. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll second that. I was new to this server, didn't know much about it, and it was the community that really sucked it in.
4028, be about
drew
one,
it
be
tight.
4028, the other one, B1011.
John's open to questions. He helps out in any way he can.
Confirmation,
so, yeah,
1080. I mean,
reaching out to other
1080.
people is
Gonna
not an issue at all.
Why is it not closing?
I love this server. I hope the server stays around forever. And you know, what's best for the server is best for the server.
Lost eyes.
I'm gonna do
was
lost
headed
eyes.
towards
Anybody else who
freeway.
hasn't spoke yet on a question wise?
Can we get the other three to answer my question, please and thanks?
Yes. What was your question again, man?
My question is, do you already have your command members picked out? Your O2, your O3, and the subsequent levels beyond that. Do you already have those picked out? And if so, can you give us a spiel on who you want for that? If not, if you don't feel comfortable with it, that's okay. It's up to you. They're asking for transparency. It's up to you to give it.
I mean, I would.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No, that's fine. No, you can go first.
I mean, so your question was, who would we put at like a high ranking, right?
Yeah, your O2 and your O3, etc.
Oh, that high. I mean, I don't want to replace anybody.
Seat covers, black
I don't want to
exterior
replace
paint.
anybody who doesn't need to be replaced. But I mean, if I were to put some people up top, I mean, I'd definitely say McFarland, obviously. I'd not trying to glaze. I'd definitely say if he's still in here, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Chase. I'd say Sergeant Chase. I'd definitely rank him up. Tanner W. There's a few other people. Can't remember their names, but there's a few other people I definitely rank up that I think deserve a higher position.
Yeah, personally myself, I don't. It will all have to be determined. I'll look inside the department, really pick and choose. Really sit down, look at the analytics on it, and go from there. I mean, what's best for the department is best for the department, and I will reach out to several other people in developing that.
Yeah, I do have a few people in mind, but obviously I would have to think, like, what's their rank, what's their, can they possess this job, are they already the position I want them to be at? Obviously, I have McFarland in mind, I have Adam in mind, I have Chase as well, what Adam's been saying. I have Mo in mind as well. He's already know too. But I would have to look at everything to make sure it's just going to stir up anything. People are going to be unhappy with my decisions. I have to accept that. People are going to be pissed at me. People are going to be happy with me, right? People are going to be neutral. You have to accept that. But at the end of the day, you have to look at everything. Is this the correct decision?
Okay. Alright. So nobody else wants to go for sure and say who their O2 and their O3 will for sure be.
Okay.
I guess if you has the most balls, I guess Kirby is the only one who has the most balls to say it.
I wouldn't say that.
I said it too.
Corporal Swarm.
He name dropped, just saying.
Left.
Yeah, you gotta name drop the O2 and O3 to be on Kirby level.
That's showing that Kirby has balls.
I'm not name dropping.
Just all Master's balls. Like O3 would be good to McFarland, O2 stays Motor, and O4 would go to Adam. So that's how I do it.
Dang it.
O4?
No, yeah. Yeah, Dip Chief.
You gonna make?
Or Mr. Higman, did you take that from THP policy? If I may ask?
4020.
Higman or Hyman?
I feel like you just copying everybody else. To be honest
Keep
with
a
you.
lookout for.
Yeah,
of
did you
course.
take that? Did you take that? Did you take that 04 spot, sir, from a THP policy?
No,
or
I
did you
honestly
make-
thought there was an 04 spot in the KCSO. I didn't know if there was or not. Yeah, I
don't believe there is. I mean, I'm sure that's something that if you were the sheriff, you could make one.
Yeah,
but
there's a. I think there's.
yeah. Isn't there a commander role?
Nah.